Good morning. Today is a wonderful day, and it doesn't matter what time you decided to click play. Hey. It's your boy Prod.OG, and I know I haven't made a YouTube video like this in a while, so today I'm bringing it to you. I'm just giving you guys some advice or just some insight and perspective from Prod.OG and how I be feeling about certain topics and things that we all have to go through in life. Like, this is why it's so relatable, and anybody can relate to it if they just want to listen. Some people don't want to listen, and that's totally fine. You ain't got to listen if you don't want to, all right? But for the people that do want to listen today, this video is going to talk about, or we're touching on the topic of consideration. If you don't know what consideration is, there's the definition. But in my words, or in my terms, consideration is pretty much, you know the word. The word consider means to think about, or to pretty much have something else in mind. Or is that really the words? No, that's not really the definition. Just look at the definition, but you know what consideration is. Everybody knows what consideration is. Let me give you a few examples of consideration. Right now, I'm considering you guys and the fact that you guys want to see content from me, or the fact that you might just be going through a specific life situation right now where somebody's not considering you and your well-being. So this video is for you. So I'm considering you guys right now enough to create this, and you guys are considering me enough to even be supporting me on YouTube and watching it. So to consider is to care in so many words. Like, if you care about somebody, then you consider how they feel. And if you don't, then you don't consider how they feel. And that just shows how much somebody really loves you based off of how much they consider your life choices and what you're going through. So many people are making decisions because everybody has no choice but to make decisions in their life. There's no way for you to create your reality if you're not making decisions. And the only time you stop making decisions in your life is when you die. So if you're not dead, hello to the decision-making world. We're all out here doing our thing. But based on the decisions that you make, determine the way your life goes. So if you decide to not consider people, if you decide to not care about the background of somebody else or what somebody else might be going through, then you can't really expect that to happen for you, you know? Like, we all have to consider each other. This is why I don't go that hard on people anymore, because I used to go really hard and be like, no, you know better. I know you know better. And instead of being so hard on people like that, the gentle approach is always the most considerate approach. If you're not being gentle, then you're not truly considering somebody's well-being. And sometimes you have to not be so gentle sometimes, because you have to consider your well-being. So when somebody, if you know, and you know that you're so considerate and everything that you do shows that you're a considerate person, to the point where you're reaching out to people all the time, or you're always trying to elevate people's mood to a better mood, then that means you're considerate. You care about how people feel. You care about people being happy and healthy and being prosperous. That is who I am. And I only want to attract people like that. So if you are those type of people, you in this live. Well, this is kind of a live premiere right now, but you probably might be watching this video while it's not a premiere. And I appreciate you for considering to watch this video, because the consideration that you have for me is the same type of consideration I have for you. And we are in this together. There's no way that we can live in this physical world. There's no way I can walk up the street and ignore a person that's right in front of me. So pretty much what I'm saying to you is that we are all in this together. We might not be living the same life from the same perspective, but we are still living the same life, because, ooh, pimple. See, I get pimples too. People think that, oh my God, he is so perfect. Oh, he's perfect? Oh, consider the fact that I got this whole pimple right there. And I think I know where it might have came from. It could have came from that Mountain Dew, or those Krispy Kremes, or even that McDonald's. Did you consider that, Prod? Did you ever consider that? I did. And that's why I have this pimple now, and I just got to deal with it. It's like, oh, well, like, you got a pimple, you got a pimple. Like, you're a person. People get pimples, okay? And then you just gotta consider what you're eating. You gotta consider so many things. Like, the first thing, I don't know if I touched on this. I don't think I did touch on this. But the main message, or the main vibe that I wanna leave you guys with, is consider yourself. Because when you really start to consider yourself, then you consider everybody else. If you're not considering your well-being, if you're not considering where you are in life or what your decisions that you are making are getting you out of life, that's something that you need to start doing. Like, for real, you got to start to consider what you are doing. Because if you don't like the life that you're living, you're not going to really even care to make other people's lives better because you don't feel like your life is better. So only until you can start to consider your own life and what you're doing and how you can be making it better, then all the answers will come out in front of you in the forefront and showing you how you can be making other people's lives better. Because your last priority should be to be trying to make somebody else's life better if you haven't even made your own, or if you're not making your own life better, because it's a never-ending process. You never stop making your life better. Your life never stops getting better. Your life never stops progressing. Now, let's say that in more clear terms. Your life never stops progressing because your life has to go on until it's not anymore, until you are done with this physical body and you are 6 feet under. Until then, your life is always progressing, either upward or downward, or closer to source or further away from source. But the thing is that you always want to consider if you're going in the direction that you really want to be going in, not going in the direction that other people are going in. Just because everybody else doing it don't mean you need to be doing it. Okay? And just because everybody else not doing it don't mean that you can't do it. Because that's another thing. Society tries to make you feel like, all right, well, why do you feel like you need to be doing this? Everybody else is doing this. Okay, just because everybody else is doing this don't mean I want to do that. We always have the choice to choose what we want to do. You either choose to be a good person, a considerate person, a loving person, a gentle person, or not. And if people are not treating you back with that same energy, the best thing for you to do is just walk away from them. You don't even want to bring yourself to a level of susceptibility to where they can take you out of your high level of consciousness and your high level of creation and bring you down to their low level of stagnation. Because that's all they're ever doing. That's all we are all ever doing. If we're not moving forward in life, we're moving further down. And then you're going to get to such a low point where you're stagnant, where you don't want to move anymore because you're scared that every move that you make is taking you lower and lower, because it really is if you're not in a positive mind state. If you have not taken the time to clear your mind from all the negative momentum, all the negative thoughts, all the negative beliefs and experiences that you might be going through in this life, then you are not going to get into a state of consciousness where you can see life at that high level, because everything has its purpose. Even the stuff that we see out in this world where it's like, how could a person ever do this? Or if there was a God, then this wouldn't happen. Actually, if there wasn't a God, this wouldn't be happening. Like, let's not even get into the topics of God, because God is such a touchy word. The universe is responsible for all of this. The universe is God, though. The universe is ultimate intelligence. Whatever you want to see that infinite source of creation as, which we all spring from, which we all had to come from, because there would be nothing to come from if it was not coming from that infinite source of creation. It doesn't matter what you want to label it. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. You just have to start to realize that you are part of that source. You are the source. You are the source. You are the source. But what are you being the source of in each moment? Because you're choosing. And that's the beauty of life. You have the choice to choose to be more like source or not so much like source. But there's no way that you can never not be source. You're always going to be a part of that whole aspect of whatever we all are, whatever we know is the highest form of all of us. So just know that is always you, but only until you can consider what type of life you are living and what you are doing in this life while you're living it. That is going to be the determinant, or that's what's really going to determine if you are getting closer to source, if you're getting closer to the highest form of you, or if you are just gravitating lower and lower until it's really dark and you don't like what you see anymore. We don't want that life for you, so please, please, please consider yourself and consider everybody else. Care about yourself, care about everybody else, and then everybody else will care back for you. I love y'all so much. Thank you for considering me, and thank you for considering yourself.